All right, this is part 2 of why you should be using a heat press. But honestly, this is at more of a high level. In the previous video, we talked about using it to start off and whatnot, right? The important thing is that people come into this game and it gives you a whole introduction to all sorts and different things. And then we were comparing it to you outsourcing, and the pressure is on you to get those sales, right? Nothing wrong with either one. And obviously, you see my homies Marlon and Nick making another video, so you know I had to come back with another video. And just to clear, I got a lot of respect for them guys. They've helped me out a lot, and you know they done multi-million dollars with their brand. I've only done a few millions, and it wasn't even with a clothing brand. So you know, a lot of things I say might not have the proper credentials to speak on, but let me talk about this at an even higher level. All right, so think about a company like Nike. You know, they do amazing, and they're worth over $200 billion. And all they do is focus on marketing and sales, collaborations, content, all of that, right? They focus on a lot of those things and they do incredible, but they don't manufacture any of their own things. They don't produce any of their own stuff. But think about what entails with all of those types of issues. You know, I know Damon John said the #1 killer for a apparel business is literally inventory, which along comes with production and manufacturing it, right? Because you're gonna have an excess amount of inventory. So a company like Nike, who outsources everything, always has to have a plan B, which is going to focus on outlets, such as like a Nike outlet, or selling everything to a Ross and a Marshalls, and offloading all of those inventories that they're not making sales on. So a lot of those sales that they're making is literally recycled sales, because they're offloading all of their inventory so they're getting the money back and focus on the next collection. Now, they might not focus on their own manufacturing or production, and that might even be another issue when it comes to their blueprint is literally all over China, and you can see the fact that they're having to deal with lawsuits literally every single other month, you know. So in comparison, think about that to a company like Louis Vuitton or any other company that's in the LV group. Think about I forgot the name of the other one, but the one that Gucci and Balenciaga and all of them are a part of. All of these companies manufacture and produce all of their own items, and they have a crazy, ridiculous high profit margin. And you can't talk about, literally, they have a lot of products that are made out of polyester. They got polyester scarves, they got polyester t-shirts and whatnot. And you can't talk about polyester without talking about a heat press or a metal printing plate at the very least. So think about that. And a company like that is worth over $400 billion. They might spend some money on marketing, but they're not concerned as much when it comes to the collaborations and things like that, because a product that they create literally sells itself. They focus on the art and the craftsman of the actual product, so that whenever their product comes out, all they do is throw it on their models, and they do a little runway, and all of the celebrities and everybody out there literally wants their product because they focus on the product, and the product sells itself. Instead of them having to focus on marketing or collaborations, at the end of the day, when it comes to Nike, when it comes to all of these collaborations, the product is literally, you got on Jordans, you got on LeBrons, you got on whatever that may be. And then Nike is just like a subsidiary of that actual product. Now, when it comes to Louis Vuitton, whenever they do collaborations, it's still Louis Vuitton. So think about that. You can't talk about heat press without production. You can't talk about production without talking about manufacturing. If we want to go even higher, we can talk about things like, you know, a Rolex, right? They manufacture all of their own products because they're worried about the quality of the actual product. And once that product is made, it literally sells itself. Think about companies like Lamborghini, Ferrari. They make their own product. They're worried about the quality of the actual product. So whenever the product comes out, the product sells itself. So I know that goes in a whole different direction, but you can literally take that and put it in part with apparel. So if you think about apparel, you might start off with a heat press, and then you can transition into just focusing on marketing and sales. But that's just a core component of the entire thing. You're focusing on marketing and sales of the actual product that you have now, and you're not worrying about manufacturing and producing yet. That way you have more time to focus on marketing and sales so that you can get those sales to come in. But the companies that are beyond advanced, so this is going from beginner, from the heat press, to the intermediate phase where you outsource everything, and you go into advanced section because you got all of these sales and whatnot, right? But those companies who are beyond advanced and looking at domination, they come back and see what they're doing in the very beginning and see if they can take part of that. Because what part of your company do you actually own if you don't own the entire thing from A to Z? So that's the whole other high-end discussion of this whole entire thing. You got to really think about You know, a lot of people say it's not how you start, it's how you finish. But most of these companies, whenever it's time to finish, they're looking at the things that they did whenever they started. So yes, of course you want to focus on marketing and sales of your actual product instead of producing it whenever you're at that phase. But there comes a time that's going to be what makes your company is those sales. But at the same time, whenever you're not worried about the production and the quality of your actual product can be the killer of your actual company. So for me, it really boils down to how much do you really want to be a part of the actual quality and the art and the process of your actual product. You can focus on the marketing, you can focus on the sales, but that's going to help you. But imagine if you're a true artist, you're a true designer, and you want to sit here and focus on each and every single quality of that actual piece, and you get all the eyes on the world to watch you create this piece, then you might go a little bit further. But honestly though, at the end of the day, I'm just a YouTuber, man. What do I know?